Andre Khatchaturian of Armenian Sports News, joined today by Akron linebacker Bubba Arslanian, coming fresh off another double-digit tackle performance this week. Bubba, what's going on?
Not too much, trying to stay together and bring a win to the community.
That's awesome, man. You this year you've been dominating on the field again this week. As I mentioned, you got 12 tackles against Eastern Michigan in the loss. You now have 109 this season. And you look at the statistics in the NCAA, in the FBS, you're number one in the MAC, the Mid American Conference, and number two in the entire country heading into Saturday's action. How does it feel to contribute at such a high level for your team in this way?
For me, I try to, keep everybody motivated in practice. Practice execution is game reality. So, we bust our butts in practice and, hope to be able to do it on Saturdays and, in this case, Tuesday. But, I love it. Love being able to go out there and perform.
Now we've seen you do this before the last couple seasons. Obviously, you had an injury last year, week 4. You broke your thumb, missed the remainder of the season. How are you able to bounce back from that injury and perform the way you have this season?
I've been able to grow a lot as a player, and especially being out. I watched a lot more film. Was able to help other players. Kind of coach them up. But for myself, allowed me to grow with my knowledge of the game. My film study, what to expect in certain situations and to be able to put myself in the right place to make a play.
Now, you talk about that. It seems like you've really taken up a leadership role on this team. How have you kind of been navigating through that throughout your, in your career?
Mm. Coming in my freshman year, we had great leadership. So I was able to kind of take that in, observe, and see how those guys did it back then, and kind of adapt and take in what I liked and what I thought would work. So being here for 6 years, I was able to see a lot and learn a lot from other people that have been here. So I mean, I'm glad I'm glad I'm on this team, and I love the guys I play with.
That's fantastic. Now, you guys, team wise, haven't been performing as you might have hoped for this season. Just one win in the so far. How do you talk about being such a big motivator? How do you personally stay motivated when team wise it's not going your way?
Yeah, football is a weird game. You get 12 opportunities a year, and you're working dang, near 365 days a year, for 12 opportunities. So you got to stay motivated. You got to look forward to that next opportunity because, you never know when that next one's going to be. If you got to wait a whole another year or, if in this case, it's just next week. But, just the opportunities are so limited and people don't realize how fast that time goes.
No, so for you, you talk about just how you stay motivated. How do you kind of make your other teammates stay motivated? Maybe, they're not as, don't get intrinsically motivated as you do. How do you kind of push your teammates?
Yeah. I see a lot of potential in them. And, every day we go out to practice, you got to keep motivating them, keep their motor going, know that their potential is sky's the limit, for us personally, we want to get a win. We want to get more than one win. So, I mean, to keep them motivated, to keep them hungry, keep chasing after what, the culture is dictating. It's huge.
Now I mentioned your 109 tackles so far. How much do you pay attention to that? Do you don't care at all? Like do you check? Oh, look at this! I'm in the top 5, or do you think about it at all?
I mean, people send me in when I
Oh,
see it
don't lie!
posted,
Come
but
on.
I'm not following exactly, but
Okay,
it's nice to be up there. See your hard work pay off. That's for sure.
that's awesome. But most of all, you look at that number and it's pretty impressive. Especially we've talked about this before. Your stature is not like a Ray Lewis or anything like that as a linebacker, but you're running around getting all these plays. Did you kind of view yourself as that as like a chip on your shoulder coming into college football, or is that something that motivated you?
Yes, I mean Akron was my only Division 1 full ride offer. So I mean I definitely had a chip on my shoulder. I wanted to go prove to everybody that hey, you missed out on me, and I'm gonna make you pay for it. So I just love the opportunity to be able to do that.
That's awesome. And obviously this is Armenian sports news, so I want to ask you, there's been you look around college football, there's more and more Armenians especially in FBS, FCS. We remember your old teammate Bryce Peterson, who plays out west now. What does it make you feel to see so many different Armenians playing, Division I college football and
Yeah.
potentially maybe going to the NFL?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Very prideful in where we come from in our history. I think it's awesome that we have this representation in this division and this level of football. Great athletes, and I'm sure that just as hard as me, they're working their ass off. And that's something to be very proud of. I'm happy about the rise of that, and look forward to hopefully meeting them hopefully at the next level.
And Armenians have always been the underdog in history, and you kind of just talked about how you had a chip on your shoulder. Does that kind of resonate with you?
Yeah, it definitely does. My great grandpa, he came over and made it from Armenia on a boat to Cuba, and then made it over to the States. And just very prideful in that. And lived to be 100 years old. And
Wow.
so, I met him and just established that hard worker. We're not gonna take out them. We're gonna work for what we get.
That's fantastic. And then I feel like that's also in like the Ohio DNA as well, blue collar, hardworking. That's really cool, Bubba. I appreciate the time, and best of luck the remainder of the season. We're always keeping an eye on you, and hopefully, we can see you playing for one of those 32 teams in the National Football League one day. So keep it up.